All right, how's it going, family? This is day 4 in my video series in commemoration of 100 subscribers, reviewing my roster of 3-star heroes. I've already have 3 videos already out. I started off with the Dark Heroes. Second to that was Fire. Third was Holy, and now we're at Ice. So we're gonna start off with Hilo, which I think he's the only healer that cleanses in the 3-star variety. Druid, which I think is a great class for him, and the opposite side is Paladin. I really like the design, although I honestly prefer a straight heal over time because heal over time can be dispelled. He's from the season 4, which are my favorite sets of heroes. We have the heroes that can produce underwild gems. And thankfully, in the 3-star variety, there are 5 heroes, huh? Yeah, one of each element. Volomark in red, Poppy in yellow, Gramps in green, Hilo in ice, and I don't remember who the dark hero is. Now, since I'm on a tangent, I have to figure it out. Oh, Morris. Ugh, that was not worth traveling back for. Okay, so we have this passive, which is a great passive. Increase buff duration. Duration of the first 3 buffs this character receives from special skills is increased by 1. Okay, very helpful. Although, no, there's no although. I think this is the only set of heroes that have this type of buff. Not buff, but passive, which is really inventive. Uh, yeah, nothing new. I just wanted to see what he had on his head. Pizza. I would not eat that pizza. It looks like olives, mushrooms, pepperoni, and jalapenos. Ugh, he could make a better pizza. I'd prefer cheese. Okay, so let's go to the next. I like this hero, by the way, if you haven't figured that out. Next, we have Dawn, who's also a great hero from the Plains Hunter family. I'm not going to go over all that. You can pause the video. Didn't mean to go out. So we have this passive, which reduces the damage from special skill to 1. It's a very small chance, 1 out of 10, but it's awesome when it does happen. We already know about this passive. I discussed it in the other videos. It talks about the Hunter's Mark, inflicting 150 damage over 3 turns, and it increases over activations, I believe. Let's see here. Oh, okay, never mind. The damage increases if this is applied to an enemy that already has this Hunter's Mark. Very good. So surprising. It's easy to forget that Dawn cleanses, so let's go there first. Cleanses status ailments from that caster and nearby allies. I forget she does that. She's a really cool hero, really cool. You have the hunting owl minion with 10% HP and 20% attack, which is pretty low. Each hit from a hunting owl minion reduces the mana of the target by 6%. The caster and nearby allies get plus 54 defense against special skills for 3 turns. The problem with that is it could be dispelled, but she cleanses. Great hero overall. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Well, okay, I'll try. Jehokanine? Jokanan. Okay, I'm going to stop. He's a monk class, which is a great class for him. Although I think Ranger would have been better. We have him from the Calvala family. Receive 10 to 40% less damage from special skills of the stronger element, which is nature. That's anywhere between 1 and 3 heroes. As far as I know, the only other hero in this family is Para. And I already discussed her in a previous video. She's a healer. Okay, so we have this passive, which when this character starts a turn with low health for the first time during a battle, they recover 15% health and 15% mana, which is a pretty good passive. The thing that's really cool about him is he dispels buffs first from enemies, and then he does the damage. He also inflicts immunity to status effect buffs for 4 turns, and with nature characters, it adds another 2 turns, which is 6 turns, which is a pretty long time. The unfortunate part is you can't cleanse it if you're nature. Very good hero. His only downside is that his damage output is pretty low, but he has a lot of utility. Very useful hero. We have Yao from the Three Kingdoms Ranger class, which you already know is my favorite. Deals 250% damage to targeting nearby enemies. The downside I don't like about him is that he only produces minions for himself, which at best I think he should have done it for himself and his neighboring allies. I still like him though. A good amount of damage. We have Nordry, which is, I believe he's one outside of Frida. Pardon me. He's one of the first heroes to to inflict elemental defense down in ice. And it's such a rare skill to have. These heroes are timeless and collectible. So, I like both versions of him. I tend to use this one more. So we have deals 220% damage to target and nearby enemies. All enemies get minus 54 defense against ice for 3 turns, and for fire characters, it lasts 2 turns longer. And this one, I think it's the target and nearby. So obviously the costume version is better. He just does less damage. Monk class, which is good over Barbarian, obviously. And we look into the realm bonus, which all allies get an ice giant minion with between 6 to 14% HP and between 10 to 16% attack. These minions are so weak. I think they just melt with a touch. 6% HP is so freaking low. Now you need 3 heroes, and I think that's pretty possible because there are more than one hero in the 3-star variety. I love this hero. So we have Gunner. I haven't leveled up the costume yet, although can't wait to see how it looks. It's pretty much going to be the same as Kalani. They pretty much have the same mechanics. It's just that Kalani has higher health and he has higher defense. That's the biggest difference between the two. Well, of course, the classes. Paladin, which gives him that extra defense. And this is how he looks. He has the superior protect, which means you want to keep him as either the tank or a flank. And then we have the druid version, which the costume, I love this one. Instead of applying the soul connected to his allies, he connects it to, well, he inflicts the enemies with it. And then he gives them a minus 44 defense for 5 turns. Pretty much half of what Wilbur does. They're both great versions. I honestly prefer this one. And he's also really good as a tank in the 3-star rush. Well, they're both good. They're both good for the 3-star rush attack tournaments. And also, since he's a druid, he is really good for bloody battle. Okay, so we have Valen. There's not really a big difference between, I think I have his, yeah. Okay, I forget that I have the tune. I barely use this guy. The difference between him and his costume is that He gives himself a plus 54% attack for 6 turns, which is a long time. And then the other one offers, well, actually inflicts, not offers, because if you're offering to the enemies, it's not something they want. So you're inflicting them. So he inflicts the target with minus 34% defense for 6 turns, which is a long time. Okay, we have Caril or Carol or Caril. I wonder which way is the best way to pronounce it. I really don't use this version. I just don't find him exciting. Although what's good about him is obviously the passive, but I honestly prefer this version because of the burn damage that he inflicts. I understand that he's a what do they call him? Not a blacksmith. So I think I understand the fire damage because of the heat, but I still think because he's an ice element, ice damage would probably have made more sense in the context of the element, but in the context of the costume, the burn damage makes more sense. And him being rogue is even better, way better than a barbarian. So I like that one a lot. And then we have the Swan Maiden, who I never really use. I think I should, though. Already without any emblems, her health is pretty high for a 3-star. Her passives are great, which is resist defense ailments. This character has innate resistance against status ailments and negative stacks that affect defense. Doesn't apply to status ailments that affect elemental defense. So defense down doesn't apply, but elemental defense does affect her. We have the Opera Family bonus, which they haven't had this event in such a long time. Between 1 to 3 heroes, they have an increased attack, defense, and health between 5 to 15%. Although I think she's the only 3-star hero of this Secret of the Opera. And I skipped the other passive. This character receives 10% health each time a status ailment expires or is cleansed, removed, or reallocated from them. This effect can activate only once per turn. That's a good passive. She's just fitted to be a tank. Pure and simple. So, Dance of the Little Swan. Let's see here. So the caster regenerates 402 HP over 3 turns. I think that can be dispelled. The caster gets plus 30% chance to dodge special skills that deal damage for 3 turns, which means you can dispel that and she can't dodge the dispel. All allies except the caster dance for 3 turns, and the Dance of the Little Swan is 30% chance to dodge attacks and special skills, 35% chance to to deal 240% damage to a random enemy after any subsequent allied special skill is cast. So that means you want to dispel the dodge, but I don't think you can dispel the dance. Or maybe you can. Either way, you want to prevent your team from using their special skills. You want to kill them with tiles. Okay. Greymane. Well, as a raccoon, he's funny looking. I leveled that up, which I'm not going to use. And he pretty much deals damage and heals himself from it. Sorcerer class, which is not all that great. And Barbarian, which is, I think, a little bit worse. Although this version gives himself a plus 50% attack for 3 turns. Okay. The caster is immune to new status ailments for 3 turns. This can't be dispelled. So obviously the costume version is better, and they sort of balance it out by making him a barbarian. Frosty the Snowman. Interesting enough, another rogue healer. The minions are weak, but that's also topped with a health recovery of 32%. He's probably better off mixed with other heroes that produce minions to protect the elf minions. Cool hero. Obviously, he's a rarity, and I actually chased after this hero because I didn't have too many healers in the 3-star variety. Plus, as you know, I'm a collector. So, let's see here. I'm not there yet. Guardian Lemur, which was a later addition. Another healer that was added that gives 32% health for all allies and also a defense against nature. Fighter class, which is a good, interesting when they do that on healers, which gives them an opportunity to heal another time. The family guardian bonus gives from 2 to 5 heroes an increased healing and defense. Okay. I don't use him. As you could tell, I only have one emblem on there. Oh, Planchet, another fighter class. And of course, this has a cover mechanic, so I'm not going to go over that. I believe he's the only. No, that's not true. I'm not even going to go there. There's actually, what's his name? Fenton, I believe. But I think that's it. We have the cover mechanics, as I said. I don't have any emblems on him because I just don't really feel the need to use him. Although I've seen that he hits hard when he's on offense. Destroys all minions from the target and does a pretty heavy damage for a little kid sniper. Is he a musketeer in training? Plus he heals himself. He's a good hero. I just don't use him. I think Virgil's another healer. You know what? I didn't realize that were that many healers in Ice. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4. Okay, so we have Virgil, and we already looked over their family bonus and passives and all that stuff. This one's pretty much he doesn't receive any form of elemental defense down or defense down. This is, well, you can read that. Cleric class, which is great for a healer. I just don't use him. His base health is pretty high. His attack is low, which makes sense because he's a healer. Styx charge, which is charge mechanics. Pretty much the health and the defense against nature goes up with each subsequential charge. I don't think I've ever gone higher than the double mana. Wow. The second mana charge. Okay. I think this is pronounced Jarif. So he does a similar mechanic to what Ed does, where the enemy is immune to new status effects buffs, but this time they're penalized for trying to add buffs. We have the wizard class, which is good against enemies that have a lot of buffs. We have the family bonus. This time he's part of the moon. And I think, who was it? It was Wakas. That's part of the sun family. And between 1 and 2 heroes, I think it probably has to be the moon family, huh? So they have 50 or 75% chance to cast minus 24% 24% defense for 2 turns and 114 water damage over 2 turns on an enemy who deals special skill damage to this character. You know what? Those are really good. They're really good family bonuses. You sometimes forget about it. If this enemy special skill defeats the character, the chance is up to 100%. Pretty good. Again, he's a good hero. I just don't use him. And then we have Soroka, Paladin class, which is good. We already know how amazing this passive is because it brings them down to receiving damage from 1. So you really don't want to use your special skill on them. We have this family bonus, which the more heroes of this family, the more that they resist ailments. Well, dot damage. Damage over time. Poison, burn, and water damage. Which also, if you keep in mind, they're not immune to sand damage. But there's not too many heroes in the 3-star variety that inflict sand damage. Just the ones from the Sand Empire. The Sand Empire. And I don't think there's too many other ones unless it's from the season. I think it's from the Sun family too, right? I think they inflict sand damage because it's not the Moon family. Okay. And then we have Jarver, which I like the fact that he stacks attack, but I just don't really use him all that much. He's fast and he's a druid. And we have the Realm bonus. He's from season 3. He inflicts poison damage. Poison! As long as his health is low, which I think that's a good passive. Well, it's a Realm bonus, so it's not really a passive. Or is it? No, it's not. Then we have Chick Jr. I think he's another one that changed through, right? No. Deals 180% damage to all enemies. He just does damage regardless if they're 4 enemies or 3 enemies. Paladin class, and we have Springvale family bonus, which it should be updated. I don't use him, as you can tell. Plus, I don't have enough Paladin emblems. Vodnik. So this design originates from, I believe he's the one that originates from season 1, right? Another Paladin. We have the Pirate family. I think the only other one that I covered was Botchin. That's of the 3-star variety. Well, you can read the rest of that. He's a fast sniper, and he just straight damage, and that's really about it. Nothing really special about him. And we have Gato, which is the other 3-star from season 2, right? Yeah, fighter class, which makes a great tank. As far as I can remember, he's one of the first heroes that had that immunity to new status ailments. I can't think of anyone before him. We already went over the family bonus, the Goon family. Well, I think we did the Sakura family. And I think he's the last. Yeah, he's the last 3-star hero. Okay, cool beans. Thanks for watching, and tune in for our 5th and final video of the Nature 3-star heroes. If you guys like this content, please give me a thumbs up, a like, and if you're not subscribed, I would really appreciate that. All right, thanks for watching, you guys.